After Iran targets US allies in the Gulf, a cargo vessel comes under mystery attack off Yemen, deepening fears that the wider shipping lanes are now being dragged into the crossfire. An armed craft opens fire on the vessel near Yemen just as the Gulf explodes in tit-for-tat strikes. Our commercial ships are becoming frontline targets in a shadow war at sea. As US forces and the IRGC exchange fire, Trump's Arab allies appear to be paying the price, watching their waters turn into a high-risk zone where every passing ship could be the next target. A cargo vessel reportedly exchanged fire with a small craft near Balhaf, Yemen, on June 10th, in a fresh reminder of the security risks facing ships off the country's coast. The small craft was said to be carrying 6 armed individuals, according to information from United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations, which tracks threats to commercial shipping. After the vessel's armed security team returned fire, the approaching craft turned away, and the incident ended without further reported escalation at sea. Maritime authorities then opened an investigation into the incident and issued warnings to other vessels transiting the area to exercise caution and heighten security. The clash at sea came as Iran said on June 10th that it had launched attacks on American bases in the Gulf, adding to wider regional tensions affecting key shipping lanes. The Revolutionary Guards say multiple American facilities were targeted as Tehran expands its response across the region. Iran claims a coordinated operation struck key US military positions stretching across the Gulf and beyond. The latest exchange marks one of the most significant escalations since the current US-Iran confrontation began. Tehran says American bases across several countries are now within the scope of its expanding retaliation. Iran claims strategic US military assets were targeted as fears grow of a wider regional conflict. Tehran is signaling that any new American strikes could trigger even broader attacks across the region. IRGC statement read, and I quote, "4 important targets were hit at the airbase and command center of the child-killing American army in Al-Azraq, Jordan." Following the successful operation of the IRGC Navy in hitting 21 targets in American air and naval bases in the region and shooting down an MQ-9 drone in the skies of Jam County, and in view of the enemy's continued mischief, in completing the retaliatory operation, the forces of Islam and the brave fighters of the IRGC Aerospace Force, using their long-range solid-fuel missiles, targeted and destroyed 4 important targets, including the hangars of F-35 fighter jets at the airbase and command center of the child-killing American army in Al-Azraq, Jordan. Our forces are ready for a crushing and decisive response to any renewed aggression by the enemy, and the consequences of any renewed aggression will be the responsibility of the American enemy, unquote. Meanwhile, reports emerged of fresh attacks targeting US military bases in Bahrain and Kuwait, signaling a further escalation in the rapidly widening confrontation. Iran claims its latest retaliatory strike directly targeted the US Navy's 5th Fleet headquarters in Bahrain, marking a major escalation in the Gulf confrontation. The IRGC is warning that American military installations across the Middle East remain vulnerable if Washington continues its military campaign against Iran. Iran says its retaliation extended beyond Bahrain, with missile and drone attacks also targeting US military facilities in Kuwait. Tehran claims long-range missiles struck key targets at the Al-Azraq airbase in Jordan, where American forces maintain a strategic presence. Iran has vowed a crushing response to any further US attacks, signaling that its retaliatory campaign could widen across the region if tensions continue to rise. Iran International Report said, and I quote, "Iran's Revolutionary Guard said they struck 4 key targets at the US Al-Azraq airbase in Jordan, including what they described as F-35 fighter shelters and a command and control center." In a statement carried by Fast News, the IRGC said the attack was part of a continuing retaliatory operation following earlier strikes by its naval forces on US facilities in the region and the reported downing of a US MQ-9 drone over Bushehr province. The Guard said their aerospace force used long-range solid-fuel missiles to target and destroy 4 sites at the base. The IRGC warned that Iranian forces remain prepared to deliver a decisive and crushing response to any further attacks and said responsibility for the consequences of future military action would rest with the United States, unquote. Iran has warned Washington of consequences after US strikes near the Strait of Hormuz, vowing retaliation and raising fears of a wider regional conflict. After President Trump ordered retaliatory strikes over the downing of a US Apache helicopter, Tehran responded with fresh threats and military action, escalating tensions across the Gulf. As CENTCOM wrapped up its strikes against Iranian targets, Tehran claimed to have launched attacks on US bases, signaling that the confrontation is far from over. US CENTCOM statement read, and I quote, "US Central Command, CENTCOM, forces completed self-defense strikes against Iran, June 9th, at the Commander-in-Chief's direction in response to yesterday's downing of a U.S. Army Apache helicopter. CENTCOM forces struck Iranian air defense, ground control stations, and surveillance radar sites near the Strait of Hormuz with precision munitions from U.S. Air Force and Navy fighter jets. The operation was a proportional response to recent attacks on U.S. forces and international commercial ships transiting regional waters. U.S. forces remain vigilant and postured to defend against unjustified Iranian aggression, unquote.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.